Hello!
Hey! Oh, I'm so close. I gotta back up.
Yay, back up the truck.
Hello,
I found,
hello.
yeah. Oh, wasn't Maisha was saying we'll see which one ends up with more paint. Oh gosh, yes, exactly. Actually, it's really funny. I found it really difficult to choose. I'm just going to explain to everybody what the heck we're doing.
Sounds good.
Okay, right. So Kristen and I have known each other quite some time now. And we've done sort of live interviews, but we've never actually painted together. So this is going to be exciting. So for the behind the studio door today, we were wondering what to do. And somebody came up with a suggestion of, why don't we be brave and paint over a painting that's already finished? Oh, I can feel it. Ooh.
I do love this. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you've done it before. I've done it before. But I haven't done it actually in quite a while.
No.
I used to do it more because I didn't have that many canvases and I didn't have that much supplies. So
Yeah.
when I was first painting, I would reuse and repurpose things more often. But now
Yeah.
I have blank canvases sitting, so I tend to just go to those instead of
Yeah.
painting over. So I haven't done it in a little bit.
Yes, it's funny actually. I'm sort of similar. I've taught a lot of classes over the years, and I've got a lot of finished paintings from those classes. And I look at them and go, they're not really relevant to me anymore, but I quite like them, so they're still sitting there. So it was really interesting trying to choose which one. I ended up, I'm going to paint over a finished mandala, but it was a really close second to this one, which is too big for today's session.
Oh,
So
oh,
I'm probably going to
interesting.
paint over her fierce energy sometime this week, I've decided. She's made
So
it back into the studio.
I have three here that
Oh,
I was contemplating on. One, I'm definitely painting over probably this week too, and I felt a little bit like it was a cop out to do it right now. So because I knew
yeah.
I was going to paint over it, so I pushed that one aside, and then I had two more I was working from. I'll share. So I think this is the one that I plan to paint over today.
Oh, that's so cool.
It says "Believe in
Yeah.
You,"
Yeah.
and um, and this was from a class I used to teach. This was actually the first class I ever started holding workshops for pre-Whitney. I did it in 2016, I think, a couple of times.
Right.
And that's when this one is from. And so, yeah, is your mandala from one of your classes?
Yeah. When I do painting happiness,
Mm-hmm.
they're all based on mandalas. So often I don't finish them. I've got a bunch that aren't finished, and that would have been a real cop out to paint over one of those because they weren't finished. And this one was finished, and it's actually been varnished and everything. And I thought, no, this one,
Yeah.
you need to go.
So that's really fun. I think that's pretty awesome that we both chose paintings that we once taught workshops for, and now we're
Yeah,
ready to kind of release that
really.
energy and move
Yeah,
on. Um,
yeah,
I know I think I had like three in this series that I had. Two of them sold. This one's just been schlepping around with me, since 2016. I've showed it all sorts of different places, coffee shops, restaurants, and it's
yeah.
still here. So I was like, maybe it's just time to let
Time
that
to move
go.
on. Yeah, yeah.
But
Right.
this was my other one.
Oh,
And so I got very close to choosing this one. But it is a newer canvas, and it is kind of in my newish style, I guess. So I think
yeah.
I wasn't quite ready, and I do love it.
Oh, pretty. Oh,
I think
yeah.
this one I actually haven't really shown anywhere. So I think I just haven't like put this one out in the world much yet.
Yes.
And so I decided that maybe that wasn't ready.
Right. It's definitely the other one. Time to go.
And lastly, this was the cop-out one that I was like, I
Oh,
can't do
okay.
this one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
this was actually a repaint already. This was a mandala, an abstract mandala painting previously. And then my oldest went through a basketball phase. And so I painted a huge basketball. So that was in his room for many, many years. It's and he wants a new painting, so I'm going to paint over it regardless. So I was like,
right.
That's a cop-out.
That's a cop-out. Okay, cool.
So I'm excited.
Right. Yeah, I've got a bunch of paints on my palette already. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I've got some bright colors going on. I thought I might start with a little bit of gesso because it's got more to it, but I don't really just want to white it out. So I guess I guess I have to go less of the talking and I have to just get on and do it.
This one doesn't have a varnish. I do have a painting that does have a varnish, and so I've been reluctant to paint over that. But I think it's fine.
Yeah, right? I mean, I haven't with this one, but I think if you just rub it lightly with a bit of sandpaper,
okay.
it allows it to key on, just like when you're repainting your house.
Right.
Yeah, but obviously not as
tooth, so it's not so flat and shiny.
Yeah. So this has got a bit of varnish on. We'll see. Anyway, here goes.
Here goes. So
I know. I was like, should I shut my eyes and just see what happens?
I didn't put any paint on my palette yet, so I'm gonna let you start.
That's all right. I'll just
put some paint on here. Funny enough, I pulled out a lot of the same colors that are already in the painting. So that's interesting. I looked down after I did that, and I'm like, oh,
it's all the same colors. What the heck?
Why did I do that?
Do you gravitate to a certain group of colors when you're painting?
Yeah, and these are definitely it. I definitely gravitate towards green, blue, and yellow, and a lot of times I feel like I start there, and then sometimes, different things show up. So
yeah, right. No going back now.
I've been loving your pinks and your reds you've been putting together.
Oh, I love. Yeah, it just all of a sudden all of these, because I didn't used to do pink a lot, but I've got this fluorescent pink. Well, I've got more than one now. Fluorescent pink, and I just love the colors. It's just something really yummy about it. So, right, where to start? I'm just going to start putting some color on. Wait, actually, it's quite good because it seems to dry quicker. Without having to put my head.
One of these like windshield wipers recently, or like a squeegee, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I haven't used it yet, so I'm gonna start there.
Yeah. It's cool using the squeegee because you just don't know what's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna quibble on this a bit. Pencil. What else have I got?
I feel a little bit rusty. I haven't painted with acrylic in a little while, in probably not much this new year, actually.
Oh, what have you been painting with?
I've been painting with watercolor on paper, which is different. So I feel a little rusty.
Yeah, I've been painting a bit more on paper, but I'm still using acrylics.
Yeah.
that's it.
Have you tried, I think you said you wanted to try some watercolor paper with the acrylic, right?
Yeah. I've been using mixed media paper, mainly because when I paint, I use texture. And when you use watercolor paper, it can pull it out of shape. Whereas the mixed media paper seems to hold it better.
Yes.
So far.
Have you tried, have you seen or tried canvas paper?
I've seen it. I've not tried it. Actually, I may even have bought one pack.
Oh, it's very nice. I did a whole, I did like a 30-day challenge, and I worked on just canvas paper. And it's quite lovely. I probably
Gonna go.
as many layers as I'm used to, but I felt like it took it really well.
Right. Oh, do you remember to turn my canvas? Or is it going to be stuck in one orientation? A bit more weight. I have no idea what this is going to look like by the end. But then that's normal.
Right.
Oh, look at that. Things are going already. Yeah, I did wonder whether I would keep any of my painting from the underneath, so it might appear through, but possibly not. Who's here?
I have been seeing all of these beautiful sunflowers for Ukraine all over.
Oh, yeah.
And so that is sort of where my mind is heading right now.
There's a few people have joined. I can't always see. Drawing art.
Oh, I don't see too many either. Yeah. Oh, hey, Dawn's here.
Yeah, they're all sort of hiding down the bottom, and I don't get to see them. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I hope you're coming along.
Let me move out of the frame so you can see what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope everybody's painting along. This is a chance to be brave with us. Just see what happens. Sometimes you just have to let go of painting that you quite like.
Right.
I think that was the problem with this one. I quite liked it, but I didn't love it. So I don't think I ever put it up for sale or anything.
Yeah, I think that's how I felt about this one. I liked it a lot, but let me come a little closer. But I didn't love it, and the words I had used didn't entirely make grammatical sense, I don't think. So, it sometimes irked me. I was like, why does that say that?
Why have I done that? It's funny, actually. I'm doing an exhibition in July, and the lady who's hosting the exhibition asked me if I would take some paintings down so she could get an idea of what they look like in person. And I chose the ones that I really like. And as a last-minute choice, there was one hanging on the wall, and I thought, oh, not my favorite, but I'll take you. And I put it in the car. And which one did she love?
That one.
Like, no. Yes, exactly. That one.
Yeah. That always, that's such a good lesson for people, though, is that, sometimes, actually a lot of the time, I always say the process is for me, but the finished piece really isn't. And so,
no.
There may be something that I don't love, but that's because maybe it's not for me. It's for someone else out there. And
that's absolutely true, actually. And we can't hold on to every piece we make. My goodness. Although we try.
I know. I'm lucky that my family doesn't mind that I have my stuff all over my house.
I know. I have one painting that is by a different artist. Everything else in the house is mine. Mm-hmm. And you can guarantee when anybody comes to visit, they always go, oh, I love that one. And it's like, yeah, that's the one I didn't paint.
It's not mine.
I'm not offended much.
No. Right, right.
Yeah. But it's by an artist called Namesh, and I love his work. He paints in oils, but I don't have the patience for oils.
That's sort of how I do it too. Is I just recently started. I purchased a few small things here and there, but
Yeah.
I just recently started trying to purchase more. Like this Christmas, I purchased some for myself and this year.
That's a nice idea.
So that I can start to have a little collection.
Yeah, because you don't just want your own work around the house.
Yeah, it's inspiring
Yeah.
to see other people's stuff too.
And my preference is for originals, and that makes it sound like really flash, but it's not really what I mean. It's like I like to see the brush marks and the energy of the person who made it. And I feel that when if I get a print, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
And I think that's partially what stopped me over the years doing very many prints. I've done some, but I like to actually put my energy for them into the paintings. So yeah, so that's why I'm not a real fan of having lots of prints.
Yeah, I get that. I actually, I don't think any of the work, I have two pieces that are prints.
Right.
Because, it was more affordable for me to acquire it.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I can buy something smaller and it's original, I prefer
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine, she saw some they're sort of a bit like pop art pictures, but they're of sort of farm animals like sheep and cow and chicken, and she really loved them, and they're massive, and she got the artist to actually print them onto canvas for her, and they look fantastic, but I can't imagine if you are buying them as originals, that would have been quite a lot of money, and that's fine if you can afford it. So there's nothing wrong with prints, but I'm a bit like, yeah, even if it's just a little thing that somebody's made. I do have Nadia, who I've painted with a number of times.
Yeah.
I do have some of her paintings. Every now and again I'll buy one. And it's funny actually, because she was offering some, I think it was last July, and I bought one, and it took until, what month are we in now? It took until the end of January before it finally arrived here.
Oh,
no idea where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is the message on it was absolutely perfect for the moment when it arrived.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? It wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. It was spot on. Yeah. Thank you, universe. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Very good. Oh, I'm just doing background.
I know. I had sunflowers on the brain, so I'm just sort of starting.
Yeah, just going with it.
Yeah.
I guess that's with mine being so abstract. I can hear my dogs outside barking at the neighbours. And there's no one.
Do you have more than
I've got two.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, licorice and toffee.
Cute.
So licorice is a black schnauzer, and toffee is like a mix of schnauzer and fox terrier, but she's like toffee colours. Right. Originally, I wanted to call her Fudge, but Robert wouldn't let me have a dog that you had to shout Fudge.
No Fudge! Come here, Fudge!
No Fudge! Come here, Fudge!
That was our first dog that Bert and I had. His name was Buster, but he used to always kind of snuggle in between us. And when we first met him, he like had to wedge in the bed, like right in between us all the time.
Yeah.
And I would always say, he's the pickle in the middle. And so I wanted to call him Pickles. But he did the same thing. He was like, no, I'm not calling my dog Pickles.
Go outside and shout for Pickle. I was watching a comedian yesterday, and she's quite a big lady, and she was actually talking about the same thing, that they got getting a puppy. I think it was a golden retriever or something like that, and she either wanted to call it Fudge or Biscuit, or her partner wanted to call it Fudge or Biscuit. And she said she wasn't going to stand in the park when her dog had wandered off shouting biscuit when she was a big girl. Because people would just think she was crazy person shouting she wanted a biscuit. And I thought, actually, that was super funny.
Biscuit, I need a biscuit.
Biscuit!
Where's my
Oh,
biscuit?
that's cool. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I just thought, I hadn't thought of it that way. That's a fair point.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm using a comb to comb through my paint. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, it's time for me to get some sort of mark, something new, a new mark making tool.
Yeah, what am I going to do now?
What am I going to do now?
What am I going to do now? I never really know, which is fine. I need some darker color on. It's all very pastel at the moment.
I think, yeah, you need to contrast it up.
Yeah. So this is cool. It's really nice to paint together.
I know, so fun.
Yay.
I had this thing from a foot spa bath that I got. These little plastic pieces are supposed to, like, I don't know, massage your foot, I guess.
Okay.
But they kept falling off, so I just stuck them here in my art room, but I haven't really tried to do anything.
You haven't tried them yet? I'm using a bit of packaging.
Oh,
it's sort of squidgy. I have no idea where it came from, but it is one of my favorite things.
I think I've seen you use that in one of your 100-day videos recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't really work.
I wonder if I'm going to become one of those hoarders.
I know. You're like, I have to keep this. What is this for? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know it's going to be important at some point. I'll just keep it.
So you're doing fantastic with your 100-day project.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I'm really enjoying it because I've avoided it every year. I think I'm a bit of a commitment phobe. And it felt like too much commitment. 100 days seemed like forever.
Right.
And I only decided to do it on the day when I'd seen that it was coming on. So it wasn't planned, and I thought, right, I'll just do it. But I'm really enjoying
Didn't have enough time to talk yourself out of it.
Exactly, because I would have, because I've got loads going on in the rest of my life that I didn't really need to add that. But I think the thing that I'm finding is that I'm not in this, because my 100 days was 15 minutes a day creative love for myself. So it didn't have to be painting, it could be anything, but the majority has turned out to be painting.
Right.
And I think what I'm finding is that I don't just do 15 minutes, but because I've only committed to 15 minutes, it seems doable, which is just trying to trick your own brain, isn't it?
Exactly. You're like, okay,
yeah.
I only need to commit to 15 minutes, but you know, if you're having a good time and you don't want to go, that's
so. What's the theme for your 100 days?
Well, mine has been I've done it 3 times. This is my 3rd time doing it.
Wow.
But not consecutively. I've actually done it like every 3 years. So it's
okay.
I give myself a little break in between, I guess.
Yeah.
But this year, I've been working on making my own earth pigment paints, and
Oh, I've seen some of your videos. They look yummy.
they are yummy. So I started with watercolor, and I'll eventually try other mediums for them too, but I thought that would be the best way
Yeah.
to just kind of begin. And
Yeah.
so my 100 day is to get comfortable with my earth paints. So I'm doing well, so I'll show you. I have my little book here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the colors.
Oh, it's raining. Rainstorm just started.
Oh, we could do with some rain.
We could. So I'm calling it 100 Days of Mixed Media Meditation. Because I didn't want to only focus on the earth paint. I wanted to feel free to like bring in pens and markers and pencils and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so here's like my first page.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it just says
Wow.
inhale, exhale. So
Yeah.
it's just a
Oh,
free form
yeah.
painting meditation challenge. And
Yeah.
I think I'm up to day 11, so I'm a little behind. I don't know what we're even at.
Wow, that's pretty. Whoa.
Just trying to get comfortable with how these earth paints work
Yeah.
and play a little
Oh,
bit. And it's very low key. Like it only takes me, maybe 10, 15 minutes to do a page.
yeah.
And I've been trying to do maybe a spread or start a spread at a time. This one's probably my favorite so far.
I love, oh, look at the bird. That is cool. So
yeah.
how are you finding the colors with them being earth pigment? You know, my brain automatically goes brown. But
Well, here's a good brown one for you. But
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they've been really pretty. I just did a purple, so there's some of the purple ones.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I think for some of the brighter colors, the way that I purchased them, I'm not grinding them myself. I'm not like there yet. I just bought the pigment. But the company I purchased them from for the brighter colors, I think they use like an earth pigment base, and then they add a little bit of color to it. So it's not 100%, but it's like, I think it's like 80-20 or something in terms of.
Okay, that's a good percentage.
Yeah. So I felt good about that. But yeah, I'm the color part is the interesting part, because I always use such bright colors, and now I'm going to start using some earth tone colors, and it feels a little strange, but good.
We've got Jess Jewelry Treasures following, I think. Oh, who's this?
Hey.
And Cynthia. Oh.
Yeah. And I see
black paint, I'm not sure. I've gone from muted colors to let's just throw some black on. Which can get very messy very quickly.
Oh, you got a little, that looks like fun, actually. You have some fluid paint?
Yeah, this one's a high flow. This one's made in Australia, global, because I was using, what you call it? Golden.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a big fan of golden, but I do find sometimes it's quite expensive. So every now and again, I like to try other brands. I was watching a video by, I think it was Betty Franks. Is it Betty Franks Krause? Oh, show us what you're doing. Well, at the moment, This was a mandala, but now it's got a bit of a background. Oh, look at your flowers. And I'm just making marks. I'm very abstract. They're really cool. I hope you're joining in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to turn that way now. It's drying quite well. Anyway, she was talking about a different brand. Gosh, I lost my train of thought. I can't remember what it was. But she, I just thought it was quite nice when artists actually share like the kinds of paints that they use, and that it's not some big secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think, you know, I always share. I mean, it's not,
yeah.
You know, the only, I get it when they don't want to share maybe a technique that they figured out on their own, but supplies are not a big deal at all, you know?
No.
Everyone can get supplies, so.
Exactly. Why not share it? Right. I feel like I'm being a bit too precise. I need to change it up. What am I going to do to it? Ooh, I have some pink, which will not go at all, but hey. Ooh, that's interesting.
So I got to bring in some lightness. I've gotten dark.
Ah,
very, very
I think
dark.
I think that's where I got to before. Mine was all light and no dark, so I've now added dark, but I need it to dry. Ooh.
Lighten up.
Yes, Cynthia, I love abstract, and I heard somewhere recently, and I love this idea because I call it intuitive painting, but actually I'm thinking about changing it. Somebody was talking about inquisitive painting.
Oh, I love that.
I think that's more me, actually. I do paint from my intuition, absolutely true, but I think it's born out of curiosity. Like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
I can totally get behind that because I feel like I'm always curiosity is what is my driving force for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think even like in my day jobs, curiosity has always been one of my strengths. Actually wanting to know, not just know about things, but know about people. I'm always really curious about people. And so I think it's sort of just translated to my art that, you know, I became curious about, well, wonder what happens if I do this, or what reaction will I get if I do that? Or mix these two colours together. Ooh, yay. Sometimes you just don't like what you've got. Like, I'm not loving this right now, but never mind. It's just another layer.
Well, that's okay, because it's just information, right? It's just like, well,
it is.
I'm not digging that, so what can I do to take something and make it something I love, you know?
Yeah, and I've mentioned it before on one of these sessions about I've always loved all the parrot colours, like the bright blues and reds and pink, like more pink now, and yellows, and if you just do that on your painting, then you've got no contrast. And I did a summer school with a artist, and he said to me, you need to learn how to make poo colours.
Yeah, it's true. So I think what happens, like when you're, you know, just now, my painting was super dark before I added the yellow, and so those brown muddy colors add like a depth when you add something brighter on top, you know, then they kind of play together a little bit nicely.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm playing with a credit card at the minute.
Oh, one of my favorites.
You can do all sorts with it. A credit card or a store card or whatever. If anyone's got, any of your moms still got their Blockbuster cards? Oh gosh, that's a blast from the past.
I know. I think there's one
Yeah.
Blockbuster store still open somewhere that it's like
Ah,
people like travel to it just to see it.
yeah. This is what it used to. This is how we used to get our entertainment.
It seems so foreign now, you know. It's like
Certainly does. Now we just, you know, binge watch a whole series of something.
it's my favorite way to watch television.
Exactly.
I like to just binge for a while, and then I take a break and like don't watch any, and then I go back and I pick something else, and then I binge.
Yeah. I think, you know, there's something to be said with turning off your brain, if you know what I mean. Not that all TV is that, but just not having to think too hard.
I kind of feel like when I binge watch a series, it harks back to like reading a book when you don't want the story to end and you just keep going and going.
Yeah.
It gives me that same satisfaction as when I have a book that I can't put down. So whereas I don't feel like I get that if I just watch a show once a week or something along those lines. You know, I really like to burrow in.
Yeah, to immerse yourself in the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, this has changed a bit.
Yes, this has changed so much. Even though my colors are still very similar, it's totally different.
Mine looks a bit like patchwork at the moment. All the black I put on is pretty much gone. I think I'll have to bring back some dark color. Anyway, if anybody's watching, it currently looks a bit like that.
Oh, looking good.
Yay! Misha say 3-year-old has taken the lead for paint coverage. Misha's got her 3-year-old nephew there. So that I guess they're having a competition to see who can put the most amount of paint on the painting. Well done. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love that you can still see the flowers. They are cool.
So they're nice and rough right now, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Very loose.
And I like that there's a bit of depth, like the paint's not super thin. What is it they call it? Painterly.
Yes.
I think it has a term.
Painterly, when it's got like
Painterly.
Big, brush marks and thicker paints and stuff in there.
Yeah. Do you know, for such a long time I was absolutely, I didn't want to commit to texture.
Oh, I've always loved texture. I'm surprised to hear that from you.
Oh, honestly, I think I'd been painting for about at least 3 years before I did it. So a lot of my early paintings have got a lot of depth to them, but it was all done with color and light and dark. And then as time, I went on a summer school. Actually, it was the same one, the guy that told me I needed to learn poo colors. And he was very much into different mark making and doing different, using texture and dragging through your paint and all of that sort of stuff. And after that, I just got a bit addicted. It's like, I'm going to put texture paste on everything.
I've never used any of those texture mediums, but those are that would probably would be fun. I think I saw you do that in one of your 100
yeah
too.
Yeah, I did. I quite often use texture paste with what they call them, stencils or things where you can get a bit of a pattern going. Or I just put it on like a palette knife, and it just I don't know, it feels like it gives paintings a lot more energy and depth for me, especially for abstract, because abstract can be a bit flat otherwise.
Yeah, let me see. I think I have some here. Let me see what I've got. And maybe you'll, I think I just don't know what to use when, right? So I'm like, let's see. All right, I'll show you. I got a light molding paste from Golden.
Oh yeah, that would work.
It's a little sample size. And
yeah.
the other one I have is like a heavy gel mat, but I think that's different.
Yeah, molding paste. Well, both of them you can actually mix with paint. Molding paste tends to be white.
Right.
And I put that on, and then I then paint over the top of it.
Right.
Because not only is it then white, but then it gives you, you know how when you've been painting layer upon layer, you end up where your colors are quite dull.
Right.
Whereas when you put the white texture paste on and then you paint over the top of it, it makes it really pop out.
Right.
And then for the other one, the gel, I think you actually mix with paint, and the gel is actually clear.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it sort of extends your paint, but it also makes it more like heavy body. Yeah. Maisha was just saying that your painting is beautiful. It is beautiful. I love those flowers.
Thank you, Maisha. Thank you.
Right, what am I going to do now?
You know, I always feel like I like my underpaintings more than my finished paintings. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do I stop myself before I get to the finished part?
Yeah, because we can really overdo it, can't we?
Oh, I feel like I always overdo it. And I've heard that since I was in high school. I remember my art teacher in high school, in like my senior year class, used to say, I just really love your sketches. You know, I lose something between the sketch and the finished piece. Like the energy disappears. It just gets too tight. So I might have to just end it and after today and not do any more and see what happens.
Do any more to it. Maybe just time yourself when you're painting, and when the timer goes off, you just have to leave it alone. At least till the next day. Because then it's a bit. It was just reminding me about, you know, when you want to buy something, you have this impulse to buy something, and you probably can't afford it really, but you really want to have it, and you're there with your credit card buying the thing. And I remember, I think it was a guy in the UK, was one of his tips on how to not rack up your credit card debt was to actually put your credit card in an ice block maker and put it in the freezer.
So that
because if you have to wait for it to defrost and then you still want to buy the thing, then that's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I've heard that. I've never done that, but I've heard that.
No. I like the idea though.
I have done stuff where I've given myself, I force myself to just wait, you know?
Yeah.
If I still want it 3 days from now, then
you'll get it.
Or if it's still on my mind, because you know you have those things you didn't pick up, and you're just like, oh, I really wish I got that. So if I start feeling that after I've left, then I can go back. But a lot of times I don't. You know, a lot of times.
It's like
oh, it was in the moment.
yeah, it was in the moment, and I don't really need it now. Yeah. My paint's getting really thick. Right, we've got 15 minutes to go. What am I going to do?
Can you etch in your thick paint?
I think so. I just need, what have I got to etch with?
Let's see. I like that. Well, I'm so excited to use this paste. I've had it for a while.
Yeah. Have you tried? Are you trying it? Are you?
I am. I'm using a stencil.
Ah, there you go.
So I'm taking this stencil of these raindrops or
Oh, cool.
teardrops,
Perfect.
and then just using a gift card to
Yeah,
smear.
yeah.
And then once
Perfect.
that dries, because you usually wait till it dries before you paint on top, right?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite good that we're near the end.
Yeah. So once that dries, I'll see what color I want to kind of put on
Yeah.
top.
This is messy as I feel like I just need to put some other color. It's definitely just a background right now. Be interesting when I paint over the other one though, the one with the dragon lady.
That's a big one, Angela.
It certainly is. I think she came out of one of my Dream Big Paint Big classes.
Very cool.
And we paint energy, and the energy that I was feeling at the time was I wanted fearlessness and fierce. I think I was still working in the corporate world at that point. I believe it had something to do with that, and not wanting to be there. And so she came out, and she's been with me for a while. But every time I look at her, I go, I don't feel like I need that anymore.
Yeah.
But she's quite pretty. Well, she's got amazing big eyes.
Yeah, she's very wide-eyed.
She is very wide-eyed, but I do feel it's probably time that she became something else. So I love the idea that even though I'm painting over, that fierce energy is will still be there. But it doesn't mean to say that that's the only energy that has to be in. Well, that's interesting. More pink.
Yeah, that's a good point. She'll still be, you know, that'll still be infused in the bottom, but it doesn't have to be the end of it. You know, it's transformed. It's transformed into the new energy.
That's a good way to put it. And I think, yeah, she feels a bit like a guardian. She was of her time when I needed her. I do have another one, which it might get painted over at some point, or I might sell it. But I was trying to make a decision about moving away from Auckland, where we previously were, and I just needed a certain kind of energy, and I thought I was painting. Was it a dog? I can't remember. But anyway, it turned out it was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, all the little raindrops. Now I have to
yeah. You have to be patient. That's so cool. I'm loving this.
Thanks. I love yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. How different that felt with all the purple you added in there.
All of a sudden, yeah, it's changed.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to put white back in. It goes from one to the next to the next. I go, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. Now I need to put white in.
Well, yeah, because you're like, I have too much space, right? And then you fill it all up, and then you're like, oh, yeah. Now I'm missing space. I've got it all in there, so.
Yeah, now I've got white. I need to add black. All of that.
I love it.
It feels a bit like a patchwork quiltish at the moment, which I'm not sure about.
Oh, because I see what you're saying. Like it feels a little like
organized chaos.
Organized chaos. Yep.
Maybe that's what I should name it. Organized chaos, because that's how I'm feeling about it.
Speaking of, it's interesting because it was very organized when you started in a different way, right? Like
exactly.
Mandala is very organized. So that's interesting that like the organized energy is pulling itself forward again.
It does. It feels like it wants to be there. I will get the better of you though. I'll let you play at the moment. Yeah. Yes, I'll let you play at the moment, but organized is not staying. I used to say, and I think it's still true, I love the concept of being organized and routine, and then when I get it, I really don't like it.
You're like, what? Yeah. I feel that way with consistency. I've always fought against consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say the last couple of years, I've learned to befriend it, and I understand its value.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely be very rebellious against the consistency.
Yeah. So my most unfavorite word in the whole world is obligation. And consistency, I think, is a cousin. And I think that's why I didn't want to do the 100 days, because it felt like obligation. It's like, if I say I have to do it, I'm doing it. I have to do it.
I will say
and
that's been one of my favorite things about challenges, though, is that from the get-go, I give myself grace and permission to stop or change at any time. And so if I don't make it, because I found even if I don't make it to the end of the challenge, there is always value in doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes, you know, like I've done a few 30-day stuff, and I think the first time I did the 100-day challenge, I only made it to like 59 or 60, but it took me in such a direction that I just went off onto like a creative flow for like a year or two. So so the whole, for me, when I look at it, it's not a start and an end. It's more of an opening to, what am I curious about right now? What do I want to try and focus on? And then see like where that projects me forward. And if I don't get to 100, but I've moved into a space where stuff is happening, like that's a win. That's great. I don't have to get to 100. You don't have to get to the finish line to make it starting, you know?
Yeah. I think it's good to give yourself that option at the beginning, because I'm definitely one of these people that if I say I'm going to do something, it's like I've made a promise and I have to do it.
Right.
And I was told by a friend or some acquaintance that the best thing for me was to learn the word ish. And like,
Ish, I like it.
Ish, yeah. So because I would get myself wound up if I said I was going to meet at 10 o'clock in the morning, I have to be there for 10 or earlier. Whereas now I'll say to someone, I'll meet you 10-ish. So that gives me a little bit of leeway either way.
Yeah.
And it takes the pressure off.
It does.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's great to see things through. But I don't feel like I'm quitting if I've received what I needed to receive from the challenge, and I can now move. You know, a lot of times you're stuck, or you just want to try something new and you don't find the time. And it's like when you put that little challenge together, you're making time. But if you don't finish, that's okay, because you still got something out of it, you know? I'm definitely an ish on the time. Bert, my husband, and my mother-in-law are super punctual, and my youngest, Hudson, super punctual, and I am very much in the ish category.
In the ish category. Yeah. I think, and my dad's he's very punctual, and it's funny because I have a friend called Shelley. She may be watching this at some point. And
hi, Shelley.
We met in Thailand, and we were traveling together, and she literally could be 40 minutes late for a meeting. Like we're going to meet somewhere and then we're going to go off and do something. She could be 40 minutes late, and there was always something. And I think she got me into training for my now partner, because he has no concept of time. As in, he tries to cram so much in. Like, I'll say to him, what you got on today? And he'll go, this, and this. And I think, oh, yeah, that seems reasonable. And then he'll go, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm thinking, you're never going to do all that. It's just impossible. So he has no concept of time and must be disappointed a lot that he didn't achieve everything. But his time, so it makes,
I can relate to him in that way. I think I would say in my day job, that's probably my biggest weakness. And the thing I go to my supervisor for the most is help me prioritize this list, because I have so much on it and I may choose the wrong thing to start with that doesn't really need to happen right now.
Move the dial.
Like the prioritizing is the part that I sometimes struggle with, because I'm like, oh, well, this is what I want to do. I don't really want to do that. But it may not be the thing you're meant to do.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. The other thing as well is that whenever we fly, not that we've done it for a while, but if we fly anywhere, I never tell him the right time for the flight. And I vary it. So sometimes I'll get close to the right time, and then other times it'll be half an hour. And so he knows that I don't ever tell him the right time, but he's never sure how much leeway he's got.
Right. Like, he's like, is it 15 minutes? Is it an hour? He doesn't really know.
And if I'm saying we've got to go because we're going to be late, and he's like, right, we've got to go. And then we'll get there and I'll go, okay, do you want to grab a coffee and something to eat? Because we've got about 35 minutes. Because I do not want to be that person running through the airport trying to catch the flight because they've called you 3 times. Hi, Christine.
Yeah. Who's on here?
Christine Mendes.
Hi, Christine.
Hi. I've had to stop because I've got so much paint on here. It's got really, really messy. But there's a bit of texture going on in different colors. I feel like I want to let it dry, and I'm probably going to paint over.
That's okay, because it's it's your first layer of getting all of that energy kind of out.
Exactly. Yeah, you've gone. All my organized energy. I still do painting. I do still do painting happiness. I'm starting another one. I think it's the beginning of April. And it goes for 6 weeks, so I'm looking forward to putting that back out. Previously I used to be in a lot of the classes live, but that made it quite expensive for people to be able to join. So for this particular one, I'm not going to be in as many of them, but I'm going to record what I would have talked about.
Awesome.
So that people can actually give it a go.
Yeah.
Also, Christine's in France. Hi.
Oh,
That's exciting.
My goodness.
Look at us, global.
Bonjour.
Hello from New Zealand.
I'm doing my first in-person workshop in quite a few years next month. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a friend of mine, my friend Carrie. We've partnered on quite a few workshops together. And she is she does like meditation and visualizations and is an intuitive. And so she brings that to the workshop. And then I bring the art aspect, and we get together. And so we're doing an animal guide one in April.
Cool.
We've done this one in the past, and we're bringing it back because it showed up in someone's memory. And they shared it again, and then people started talking, when are we going to do this? And we got to do it again. It's great. So turned into all right, let's put it on. And
good energy.
We just announced it. So if anyone out there is in the Phoenix metropolitan area, it'll be in Mesa. You can come join me live in person. You can check it out at KristenFagan.com, the Animal Guide Workshop link. You can find out all the details. So I'm excited about that.
I haven't. My last one, I think, that I did live was probably a year ago. So it was after COVID started, but we for a long time here in New Zealand, we actually didn't have any. Hi, Taziri. So Omicron is busy doing its thing here right now, so not many people are doing anything live.
Right.
But which is why another reason, because Painting Happiness was the course that I started live. That was the one that sort of kicked a lot of what I do off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really just want to get it out there again so people can, you know, get involved. I think it's painting mandalas, but it's not painting mandalas precisely. And I think that's why I didn't like that one.
Yes.
Because it was way too precise for me.
Oh, I have one here. Those are my favorite too. When you could, because I do love mandala painting, but in the same way, like it's not with lines and it's not all straight.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You loosen up, but you enjoy the patterning, but not perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. And Maisha was just in a great process because she went through it with me. And I think the thing that I love about it is also adding in those manifestation elements. So it's like, it's a bit like a vision board, but all you see is a pretty mandala. You don't see the boat and the car and the swimming pool and all of that. It's about how you want to feel. So I think similar to what you were talking about for your workshop is adding in that element of energy and intuitiveness and just getting out of your own head. And I think at this time we all need it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, show and tell. I want to see your painting.
Oh.
Oh, that is so cool. I love the style.
Thank you.
And the bit of texture at the top.
I am going to have to like really restrain myself from not touching it anymore, I think.
Yeah. Leave it for now. See how it feels.
See how it feels. Leave it nice and messy.
Yeah. Yes. Messy is lovely. That style's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, look, I've got this one here. This one actually has been damaged. So this was in, I taught a mandala magic class way back when. And
oh, cute. And I like that.
It's sort of
that's beautiful.
I used to share with people too that it's okay to cut it so that it's not a full circle. Especially for those people that really want it to look the same and they struggle with the freedom of it. I said, you can kind of go off the edge
deliberately.
And then this way you're taking out like that symmetry and you don't have to get super hyper focused about it. But it
exactly.
It got damaged in transit.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. Maybe I'll do something with it different, or maybe it'll just be mine. So
yeah. Sometimes, and this will probably sound horrific, but I actually cut up some of my paintings and I send parts of them to friends. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, I do. I send at least that bit of energy to somebody.
What a great idea.
Oh, yeah. Maisha said, perfect book cover.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So maybe one of these days I'll repurpose it somehow.
Yeah. Mine is currently looking. It's sort of like this. It's got all sorts going on. But I need to leave it alone. It's so thick now. I've got nothing left on my palette. It's all gone.
Do you have like, are those etches seeing the bottom, or did you do those lines on top?
These lines?
Yeah.
They're on top. I just used a skewer.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it alone for now, and then I'll probably come back to it.
I love that. Is that hot pink or is it orange? It's a little hard to
It is hot pink.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I'm not actually sure. Oh, fluoro red, but it's not actually red.
Right. It's more pink.
It's kind of that color. But yeah.
It's so great. I love it. The little pops of that color in there.
Pop, pop, pop. Anyway. Thanks for the day. It's been fabulous. Yes. We definitely need to do it again.
Oh, it was so much fun. Thank you for being in the studio because I have to been in a little while. So
exactly. So put that one to one side and get on with something else.
I know. I'm gonna pick up the basketball.
Cool.
He wants an abstract, so I'll just have to play with that one. Yeah, and see what happens. But
yeah, Maisha was just saying thanks for the time. Lovely to spend the time with you both.
It was.
Lovely to see you on. We want to see what you and your nephew were doing, so definitely post and tag us so we can see it.
Yeah,
really want to see.
I would love anyone. So Maisha, whatever you worked on, and anyone else, if you painted along with us, or even if you paint later when you watch this later, like share and tag us. We've got Kristen Fagan here and Angela with Living Life in Color.
Life in Color. My website is angela-marie.com, and yours is?
Mine is Kristen Fagan, FAGAN.com.
Cool. Okay. And I'll tag you in the post and everything, and I'll also put it on
and videos.
Yeah. Oh, yay. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks to everybody that commented and was here today. It was really lovely, and we'll definitely do it again.
Yes.
Right.
Sure will. All right.
Okay. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye.